Italiano Shy here, guys. I wanted to bring you guys this information as fast as I can, so I put together a podcast. Thank you, Hey Jen, and AI, honestly. So, too long, you're not going to watch. Two-step comeback, Project Cerberus. Run DMZ Recon on mobile first. Aim for full results on the return in 2026. Recon is confirmed. The new map was shown at CODNEX 2025. The goal isn't just content, but a massive data gathering play off of the mobile. 2026 rumors, Infinity Ward plans to bring back DMZ in their third mode, likely with a social hub to try and rebuild trust after what they did with the beta. Stronger theme, likely to return, leans on Korean DMZ/Tumen setting, the possible name of the new map, to give a mode real world tension and identity. Movement truce, Infinity Ward may ship separate movement profiles per mode so DMZ stays slower and tactical while the other modes keep all the speed that they currently have. Now, please enjoy this podcast I created using HeyGen to give you all this information and more in a more digestible way. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Welcome to Deep Dives. Today, we're chatting about Call of Duty's extraction mode evolution, Project Cerberus, and yeah, it's all about DMZ's future.
Absolutely. This roadmap is pretty exciting. So we're talking about a two-pronged strategy here, right?
Exactly. It's like they're reintroducing DMZ, but with a twist. A major mobile recon component and, a big return for the console and PC crowd in 2026.
Got it. And what really caught my ear is that they're testing on Call of Duty Mobile first, using this mode called DMZ Recon on a brand new map, Serpent's Island, correct?
Yeah, right. The idea is to gather massive amounts of data from a game with over 650 million downloads so that they can fine-tune mechanics, monetization, and even player extraction rates.
Yep, sounds smart. Sound strategy. But isn't there a risk when you try to apply lessons from mobile to console and PC? The controls and pace can be, totally different.
That's a fair point. It's like apples and oranges, right? But from what I gathered, they're mostly testing business models and mission types, not the nitty-gritty details of movement mechanics.
Exactly. Speaking of movement, the debate over DMZ's pace has been huge. On one hand, there's a slower, more tactical feel, and on the other, the fast slide cancel mechanic from other multiplayer modes. How do you think they'll reconcile that?
Oh, that's one of the juiciest bits. Rumor has it Infinity Ward might actually implement separate movement profiles for its modes. It's like a technical peace treaty, preserving that tactical DMZ while keeping the standard faster pace in multiplayer.
Interesting. I mean, implementing that sounds technically tricky. Do you really think they can pull it off without dividing the player base?
It's a bold move, I agree. But consider it like this. They're trying to serve two different audiences. One gets the strategic, deliberate movements, and the other, the arcade-like speed. It's, a balancing act. Though I do wonder if it might lead to smaller queues.
True, that risk is definitely there. Now, about the upcoming 2026 launch. This isn't just about changing gameplay. There are also some narrative and thematic elements at play, right?
Absolutely. So, another big piece is that DMZ 2026 could, be anchored in a real-world inspired setting, a Korean DMZ theme. Data miners have even uncovered a map codenamed Tumen, which, lines up with the Korean Peninsula narrative.
Right, that adds a whole new level of tension. That definitely brings some realism into the mix, but how do you feel about the community's trust, especially after the original DMZ was labeled just a beta and shelved?
Oh, that's the elephant in the room. The community got seriously burned with the original, spending hours investing in a mode that then just vanished. Now, the plan with Cerberus is to rebuild that trust with more permanent support and arguably even a dedicated social hub for trading gear and cosmetic displays.
Exactly. A social hub seems like a great way to build community trust. But isn't the idea of introducing separate PVE and PvP modes almost, an admission that balancing the experience is an unsolvable challenge?
That's a contentious point. Well, I mean, it's a pragmatic fix. On one hand, having a pure PvE mode can attract players who left due to PvP griefing. But on the flip side, it risks splitting the community and extend wait times. So while it addresses one major
Yeah,
criticism,
that trade-off is tricky.
it also introduces new challenges.
And then there's the data gathering aspect on mobile. Do you think that truly helps refine the console DMZ? Or is it a bit of a stretch to extrapolate mobile data to the broader player base?
I gotta challenge that a bit. While it is true that mobile controls are, fundamentally different, the core metrics, like mission pacing, monetization effectiveness, and even player extraction success, can offer valuable insights. So, it's not a perfect mapping, but it's definitely a strategic reconnaissance move.
Yeah, that makes sense. Moving back to the DMZ Recon on mobile, the gameplay loop still centers on that classic extraction process. Get in, grab loot, and get out. But on Serpent's Island, what do you think is driving the excitement?
It's the combination of fresh territory and low risk but high reward opportunities. You see, players get to experiment with tactics on a fresh map, while the developers test out how often a successful extraction happens. It's like trial by fire, but without the major blow-up risk on the bigger platforms.
Right, that's a clever way to test the waters. And the fact that the mode is first introduced on mobile means that theoretically, Activision can experiment with monetization ideas, right?
Exactly. They're using this mode as a living laboratory to experiment with everything from gear trading to economy tuning. Every decision, every tweak is data-driven, gathered from a huge, diverse player base.
Yep, data is king here. Shifting gears to the console and PC plan, what about the involvement of Infinity Ward? The inclusion of the original DMZ developers really stands out.
Oh yes, that's a huge plus. Infinity Ward handling DMZ 2026 signals a possible commitment to not repeating past mistakes. It's like bringing back the original chefs to revamp the recipe after a disappointing trial run.
That analogy works perfectly. It certainly seems like they're aiming for a more permanent fixture in the franchise. And, that's where the big question comes in. Will players feel confident enough to invest their time again, knowing the risks from the past?
Exactly. It's all about commitment. The community needs a very public, solid promise that DMZ won't be a one-and-done experiment. The trust factor is huge. If players aren't sure they're getting long-term support, then they won't really jump back in.
It's a tough sell given past disappointments. Also, let's touch on the potential for a dedicated social hub as rumored. How do you see that impacting the overall DMZ experience?
That social hub is, potentially a game changer. It could serve as a meeting point, like a headquarters from World War II, where players not only trade gear and show off cosmetics, but also feel part of a larger narrative and community. It could really seal the bond between the players and the mode.
I can see that adding a lot of depth. Yet, implementing such features isn't without its pitfalls, right? There's always the risk of overcomplicating things and, potentially alienating casual players.
Absolutely, it's a delicate balance. Too many layers might overwhelm players who just want a quick game, whereas hardcore fans may find the lack of depth disappointing. It's like, trying to cater to both fast food lovers and connoisseurs in one menu.
Yep, that trade-off is real. Now, taking a step back, what do you think is the overall vision here with Project Cerberus?
I think, it's about revitalization and risk management. They're testing the core DMZ concepts via mobile to gather actionable data, while the 2026 console/PC initiative aims to bring back that original magic with major refinements like separate modes, social hubs, and a real-world thematic twist with the Korean DMZ angle.
Right, it's a layered approach. And with all these innovations, the stakeholders are obviously betting on the longevity of extraction shooters despite previous setbacks.
Exactly. They're not washing their hands off extraction shooters. Instead, they're using DMZ as a kind of strategic testbed. Every move is deliberate, gathering data, refining mechanics, and hopefully mending that fractured trust.
A calculated comeback. I appreciate the ambition, but I still wonder if the technical compromise of separate movement profiles will work seamlessly in practice. It could, as you pointed out, lead to distinct pain points among the player base.
That's a valid concern. If the profiles are too divergent or poorly integrated, it could end up feeling like two different games under one banner. It's a technical tightrope walk that, if misstepped, might reignite old community frustrations.
True, it's definitely high risk, high reward. Overall, though, it seems like Activision and Infinity Ward are really trying to master their strategy this time. They're listening to feedback and actively rethinking the DMZ experience.
Absolutely. This new approach with Project Cerberus could be the decisive moment in restoring player confidence. If implemented well, it not only offers fresh gameplay, but also creates an ecosystem where player input directly influences future developments.
Yep, that's what the community really craves, a genuine commitment. Well, I think that pretty much wraps up our deep dive for today. It's going to be fascinating watching how these plans evolve in the coming months.
Yeah, definitely. The next chapter in DMZ is full of potential and critical challenges. Let's see if they can truly make that leap from beta missteps to a polished, celebrated gameplay mode.
Indeed, we'll be keeping our eyes peeled. Thanks for the convo, and hope everyone staying tuned gets ready to reimagine their extraction missions.
Absolutely. Catch you next time for more deep dives into game evolution.